Thank you, sir. First of all, good afternoon to all of you. And I would like to thank the organizing committee and particularly Dr. Mail for giving me this opportunity. As sir has already mentioned, my topic is climate change induced migration. And I have taken the case study of Bangladesh. As we all are aware about that impact of climate change and how the climate change has come up, and this is not very easy discourse to analyze it. Though IPCC has given a series of report, and on those report, they have come up with that frequent climatic events, that the frequency and the severity of the climatic events like the cyclones, floods, droughts, rainfall pattern will change, and also the sea level rise. So because of all these, the climatic changes, that the frequent climatic phenomena, that people are forced to leave their place from one place to another place. So this is my topic of presentation, that these people, those who are moving because of the change in the climate, they should be considered as the climate change induced migration. So here, but what the irony is that when we are talking about the climate change induced migration, that there is no proper definition about that who will be as the climate change induced migration, because migration is considered as because of the push and pull factor. And in the international politics, we have discussed the United Nations Refugee Convention 1951, and they are discussing about that people are migrating particularly because of the economic position, economic motive, and because of the war, conflict, and maybe the combined impact of all those things. So when the people, but they have not come up with any that particular concept that these categories of the people will be considered as the climate change induced migration. And that is the main focus that we have to look into this issue at the present time. So that first time this issue, that climate change induced migration, first time this issue came up in the United Nations Environmental Program. And in that United Nations Environmental Program that came up 1985, around that period, they have come up with the first time the idea of the environmental refugee. And they gave the definition that, I'm quoting that definition, that those people who have been forced to leave their traditional habitat temporarily or permanently because of the marked environmental disruption, natural or triggered by people, that jeopardize their existence and or seriously affected the quality of their life. So this definition is given by the United Nations Environmental Program. But the problem is that the several scholars are not agree with this definition. They are saying that environmental degradation is not any new thing that is coming up. This is the part of the environmental cycle. So the people are not necessarily migrating because of the environmental degradation. So here that again a new debate has come up, that how we have to categorize that who are considered as the environmental, that climate change induced migration. So again the scholars have come up, the particular social scientists, the academicians, that geographers, they have come up with the several ideas. Among the few, they had discussed that now these days hydrometeorological disasters like the severe floods, cyclones, hurricanes, even the desertification because of change in rainfall patterns, the frequent intensity of these that climatic events force the people to move from one place to another place. Particularly because of the sea level rise, those people who are living in that the coastal areas, they have no other option except migration for their survival. So these categories of the people should be categorized as the climate induced migration. So still the consensus has not come, but this is the social scientists and the other geographers and scientists, they have come up with this idea. So what they are saying, that why this is important now to discuss, because according to the most acceptable estimate that has been discussed, that around by 2050, that more than 200 million people will be considered as the climate change induced migration. So now this is the time we have to look into very seriously that who are the people, those who are migrating particularly because of the climate change. And for this idea, I have taken the case study of the Bangladesh. So I will focus mainly on the Bangladesh in my further presentation. So in case of the Bangladesh, we all are aware that Bangladesh is a low-lying country. So the southern coastal part of Bangladesh has an elevation even less than 1 meter from the sea level. Another important feature of the Bangladesh is the Bangladesh is a riverine country. And Bangladesh has more than 300. I'm just even according to some estimates around the 600 and 700. But according to few sources that I have, that Bangladesh has more than 300 rivers. So it's a riverine country. In this riverine country, about 80% of the total area of Bangladesh is the floodplain. And these floodplain is particularly because of the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna basin that we call as the GBM basin. This GBM basin is the second largest in terms of the discharge of water after the Amazon River. So because of these, the seasonal floods that are floodplain of the Bangladesh land is very fertile, particularly for the agriculture activity. Bangladesh is also good for the fishing industry. But what is the problem that because of the climate change, all these aspects has been changed a lot, particularly in the last 2 to 3 decades. And another irony is that though Bangladesh is a the floodplain area, 80%, more than 80%, but in terms of the catchment area of the GBM basin, only 7% lies within Bangladesh and 93% lies outside Bangladesh. That is in the other countries like the India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, these region also. So Bangladesh alone as an individual level cannot make any policy either for the flood management or for the river basin management. For that, Bangladesh has to depend upon the other regional countries like the for making the policies. So, and this aspect further creating a lot of problem here in case of the domestic issues of the internal migration in Bangladesh. So as the people are affected because of the climate change and because of the severity of the cyclones and the climatic events, what is that impact that is coming to the Bangladesh? And just in the points, I will give all these points that in the last 10 or almost in the last 2 decades, the 20 years, that the intensity that's more than the 15 to 20 severe cyclones, several kinds of the flash flood, river bank erosion at the extreme level, and that is not a predefined time that happened in Bangladesh. Another, according to the one report by the Healthy Center for Climatic Prediction and Research, they estimate that by 2080, the sea, because of the sea level rise, there will be around 40 centimeter sea level rise here at the Bangladesh. So because of this, what will happen? That the Bangladesh will start in the losing its territory. If we see that at the current time that around already that this sea level rise is visible in Bangladesh, as according to some study that 5.6 millimeter at Hiren Point, 1.4 millimeter at Cox Bazar, like that the several visible points are already there because of the sea level rise in Bangladesh. So what the impact will happen, that if this will continue and if this will happen, that this kind of the sea level rise. So Bangladesh is in the course to lose of around 17% of its land and 30% of its food production. So if this will happen, then poverty will further increase. The mangrove forest of the Sundarban that will be affected, several flora and fauna that like that Bengal tigers and hundreds of the bird species, they will also maybe disappear due to the encroachment of the sea. Further, that the disease, the several new kind of the intensity of the diseases will come like the cholera, dengue, malnutrition, and the other respiratory diseases due to the food scarcity and the reduction in the food production. Another estimate is that around 5 to 7 million of the 165 total million population of Bangladesh are at the risk of the drinking contaminated water. So these are the rough estimate for the climate change, impact of the climate change. So as a policy, what the people started doing in Bangladesh, they were trying to adapt themselves with this climate change. So since the almost last the 1 decade, people are trying, so they have shifted there from that old pattern of the agriculture production to the shrimp cultivation. But even this is not able to accommodate all the displaced people. And because of this, what the people have no other alternative, they started moving from their coastal areas to other cities of the Bangladesh. So that is between 1980 to 2020, that this natural disasters forced people for the internal migration, and it further pushed the factor for the urbanization, rapid urbanization. In only last 6 to 7 years, there's around the 4 to 5% the growth of urbanization in Bangladesh. If we see the data of the only 2019, that more than 4 million people were displaced. And when these people are displaced, what they have the option? They are going towards the cities, particularly in Dhaka. Here, according that the professor, the Professor Joyce Chen, he is an economist in the Ohio State University. He is very much involved in this climate change induced factor in Bangladesh. And what he came up with the ideas that this migration is not a new. In case of the Bangladesh, people are always, before that people were also migrating. But earlier they have the defined time period. This is the flood season, maybe for the 3 months or the 4 months. For that, the seasonal migration happened. After that, the season is over, flood resides, people are coming back to their original place. But now what is happening because of this climate change, the sea level rise, that the salt water flooding is happened. And these salt water flooding totally damaging the agriculture land. So people, even after the flood resides, people have no option to come again, return back to settle in the coastal areas, in their villages. So this is the one of the main reason, the first factor that people are migrating. And according to that study, that around 1 lakh people are migrating every year because of the salt water flooding. And mainly the people are migrating here in Bangladesh, particularly in Dhaka, the capital city. So as a result of that, Dhaka population is almost at the verge of the population explosion. Here at present, Dhaka has the more than 17 million population is there. In terms of the population density, it's more than 47,000 people are living per square kilometer. I am living here in Bangalore, and Bangalore is also the crowded place with only 12,000 people, that population density in Bangalore. And in Bangladesh, it's around that the 48,000 people. So we cannot imagine what would be the situation in Bangladesh. And in this, that even every year, 1,500, around 2,000 people are coming to Dhaka. So this is further creating problem there in the people. And those people, those who are migrating in Dhaka, they are particularly coming from the low income background. And as a result, what is happening? They are settled in the slums. So in Dhaka, around 30% populations are living in the slums. This is more than 14 million people. Only in Dhaka, I'm talking about only in Dhaka. So as a result, what is happening? They are not getting proper shelter. They are not getting proper food. They are not getting electricity. They are not getting the health benefit. Plus, these people are also contributing the environmental degradation in the surrounding area, because there is no proper drainage, no proper disposal of that garbage. These things further creating the another kind of conflict, the social conflict there in the city, particularly in the slum area. So this is that one aspect. And if in this situation that if some natural disasters will happen in Dhaka, then it becomes very much difficult to manage this kind of such a huge population in Dhaka. This is, I'm talking about the in general. But if we see particularly in terms of the condition of women, because when women are moving from the coastal areas to the Dhaka, they have mainly the livelihood of possibility is that to work as a household worker, as a household job. Another, even the women are going for as a sex worker also. So there is a lot of exploitation for women also. And because they are not getting, even they don't have much say in terms of their decision making, in terms of the government, the Bangladesh government, though they are the citizen of Bangladesh, but they are not getting enough benefit from them. And when the few people asked, when I was seeing that few interview, they asked that why you are not giving, that the administration, those who are in the Dhaka administration, they say that if you will give the proper electricity, proper facility, proper shelter to these people, they will settle here permanently. So what is the problem is that they are the Bangladeshi citizen, but they are not getting enough benefit in their own country. So we cannot imagine the other population, those who are also living in Bangladesh, that is the Rohingyas refugee. There's more than 1 million Rohingyas refugees are in Bangladesh, and they are also in that very critical condition. So if the climate change induced migration happened to the Rohingyas, they are the double migration, because they are the first, they have come from the Myanmar as a refugee in Bangladesh. Further, they have to move if any kind of the sea level rise will happen. So they, in case of and these people are not only settled in the Bangladesh. People are those who are able to do, or they are trying to cross the international border and coming to the nearby countries. Even few people are coming here in India also, because that attracts Indian economy, that they will get at least better opportunity than Dhaka. So though in India, they are considered as the illegal immigrants. So here, then what is the situation is that these people are forced to leave their places. They are not moving only because of the economic benefit. They are moving for their own survival. And then they are not getting enough benefit, whether in their own country or when they are crossing the international border. So as a conclusion, what I have to just say that a few points, that we need to look into these internal climate induced migration from the all the perspective. First, at the domestic perspective. From the domestic perspective, we have to look into, first thing what we have to do, we have to make that satellite cities near the Dhaka, so this population pressure should decrease at the Dhaka and the people start settling in the nearby place of the Dhaka. Also, we need to make that urban cities far away from the Dhaka, like in, that need to develop that important other cities like the Mongla port in Bangladesh. So if they will develop these ports there, that is in the southern part of the Bangladesh. So if they will develop these kind of the ports in a much better way, then what the people will not forced to go only to the Dhaka. Also, there is a need for the proper urbanization within Bangladesh. There should be proper more research related with the climate change induced migration. Also, there is a need for that salt resistant crop should be introduced. It's already introduced. It's not like that's not introduced, but it's not much reachable to all the people. So that salt resistance crop should also be there, so that the people are not, they have not only they're settled to the cities for their livelihood. This is from the domestic perspective. At the regional perspective also, that SARC as a regional organization should come forward. Though we already have the SARC has the action climate change action plan, Thimphu statement on the climate change, all those things are there. But still the SARC, we know that because of the bilateral tension between the SARC country, particularly between India and Bangladesh, there is not, this is not very much successful. So now this is the time that we need a regional transboundary cooperation to address the climate displacement issue, particularly because the South Asia is the country, except Afghanistan, no other country has signed the United Nations Convention for Refugee. So this is the time that we have to look into as from the regional perspective, because in South Asia, Bangladesh and Maldives are the two countries who are very much affected because of the sea level rise. Plus, the another most important step that has been done with the help of the multilateral institutions and international law. So that the first step is towards to building a hybrid international law that includes climate change induced migration. That is very important in present day. Thank you. That's all.